welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm participating in a YouTube hop called Paw Your Way Into Our Hearts, where we scrapbook pictures of our pets. So the photo I chose is of my previous dog at Christmas time. Her and I were sitting on the hearth where we have Mickey and Minnie as carolers, and then also has Pluto and Snowman. So I'm using a collection from Echo Park that's pretty old, and it's called A Perfect Winter. And actually I'm getting pretty low on this, so I'm trying to finish it up. The sketch I'm using today came from Orlando Silva. It's from a private group called Disney Scrappers, and we're doing a sketchathon this month. So since Mickey and Minnie are on the hearth, I decided this would be a Disney photo as well as a pet photo. Now the sketch shows using fishtail banners, which I really don't like making, so I'm just kind of folding it over and cutting to the middle. Actually, I could have just folded it over a little bit and then just cut once, and then it'd for sure be even. But I didn't think about that until later. So the sketch shows using 3 vertical fishtail banners and 3 horizontal. I'm just cutting out 4. I'm going to use border stickers for the other 2. Even though I'm almost done with this collection, I did have a couple full sheets left. So I chose this one because I thought it goes with the photo really well with the light blue, but also it has interest without being too busy. And before I get started on putting my layout together, I'm going around all the papers with some distress ink. So on the ones that have blue on them, I'm using speckled egg. And then on the ones that are mostly red, I'm using barn door. The snowman card came from this collection. It was one of the cut-aparts. And the Viewmaster reel I just cut out of some dark red cardstock just because I thought that went with it. And there is a Viewmaster reel in the sketch. Now I went around the Viewmaster reel with the red ink, but I don't think it really showed up. Of course, I speeded this part of the video up a lot because it did take quite a bit of time to go around all the paper. The sketch shows putting a band of paper across the layouts, so I chose this paper, and it looked like I had already put some double-sided tape on this to use in a previous layout. I think what happened was that I put it on there and realized I put the tape on the wrong side. Now, it didn't have it on the top of the paper, and that's because the strip of paper was too wide for the sketch, so I trimmed off the top. The tape I'm using is 1/4-inch tape from scrapbook.com. I really like that tape. It works really well, and it's less expensive than the name brands. The only thing is they tend to run out of it quite a bit, but if you buy them in a bulk, I think it's 6 that they show that you can get, and then it's cheaper to buy it in the bulk. And so when it comes in stock, then I get usually that whatever comes in, a group of 6 or 8. Then I start laying everything out for the sketch so I know where everything goes and I can tell which piece I need to glue on first. Sometimes on these type of size papers I use the double-sided tape and sometimes the Nuvo Deluxe glue. Now the great thing about using glue is if you don't get it quite straight, you can move it a little bit, but it does dry pretty quickly. I decided the one fishtail banner was too long, so then I trimmed it off, and actually I trimmed it a few different times. And this is where I also realized I could just kind of fold it and just do one cut. Since I cut off the fishtail, I needed to go over it again with my distress ink, but there was enough ink on the pad still, so I didn't need to re-ink it. Now that I figured out where everything goes, I start gluing these fishtail banners down with my Nuvo Deluxe glue. I didn't have enough different pattern papers left of this collection to cut 6 different fishtail banners because I couldn't obviously use the ones that's already there because they wouldn't show up. And the snowman one is kind of directional. You could cut it horizontally, but none of the paper I had left had any horizontal pieces left. So I decided to use these border stickers from Creative Memories. I thought that would also add a different interest to the layout. So if you don't have much of a collection, look through your other products. It doesn't have to be from the same company or the same collection to go with whatever you already have. I was really glad that I was able to incorporate this rectangle of paper that looks like blue knitted material because I'm wearing a light blue sweater on this photograph. For my Viewmaster reel, I used a die from Tim Holtz, and it's actually one of the really old ones that is a Biggs die from Sizzix, but you can find the thin dies for that. I actually found this at a garage sale, and my Big Shot can handle the Biggs dies. You just don't use the platform for it. I'll put a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of these will be affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra to use, but I do get a small commission from any sales that the links generate, and that does help support my channel. It's taken me quite a while to go through this collection. I got it because I did like it, and I did have some snow pictures, but I don't take that many because we don't have any children in our family, so it's not like I'm taking pictures of kids playing in the snow. I have taken pictures of different dogs playing in the snow, but I live in Missouri, so we don't get snow all the time. And my current dog is really fuzzy, so if we let her play in the snow, she gets totally covered and looks like a abominable snow puppy. I do have photos of that, but a lot of times, depending on how the snow is, if it's going to stick to her a lot and if it's deep, we a lot of times just have her use the indoor doggy bathroom, and she's small, so she can get her exercise in the house. So we don't have her go out when she's going to be totally covered in snow. The Mickey and Minnie and Pluto are things that my mom purchased at Walt Disney World back in the 90s when I worked there because I got a discount. Usually I think after I worked there a year or two, I got 30% or maybe it was 35% off. And then once a year at Christmas time, they would give us a day where we could go shopping and get 50% off. So this is probably when she got that. I don't know where she got the lamppost and the snowman, probably from different craft shows. So in any case, I thought the snowman would go perfect with this picture because there's snowmen in our little caroling vignette. The sketch showed a little Mickey head over in this area, so I decided I needed to add one since I don't have any Disney elements in my embellishments. And I had this one already cut out. I save all of the embellishments that I don't use in a binder, and I believe I have a video on that, but I can just refer back to it before I do a scrapbook page and see if I had anything already cut out or pre-made for whatever layout I'm doing. The sketch shows using some flowers with the Mickey head and also in the other cluster, but of course flowers don't go with this, so it's only a placeholder in sketches. So of course a snowflake is kind of that same shape, so I'm using the 2 snowflake stickers that I have left on the sticker sheet that came with this collection. There weren't any other things I could use because there was a picture of a polar bear, which doesn't really go because there are no polar bears. I do have a penguin shirt on, but penguins and polar bears do not live in the same place, contrary to what the Coca-Cola commercials lead you to believe. Since I'm trying to use up my collection and I needed another round element for the other cluster, I decided to cut out this wreath. Also, since I only have one fishtail banner that has the wood paneling, I thought it would look better if I had more than one thing with the wood paneling. To finish it off, I went around it again with the Barn Door Distress ink. Now, I really wasn't quite as sure about this element, so you have to let me know if you think this wreath looks okay on the layout or not. Of course, it's too late to take it off now because I already glued it on. While I was trying to decide whether I liked the wreath there, I went ahead and added a snowman in the cluster. And these are stickers from Creative Memories, which also had some snowflakes that I thought matched the paper. And I added those to the snowman cluster, and then I added some over around Mickey Mouse. In this sketch, it shows some journaling up in the upper right-hand corner, and down in the right-hand corner is where the title would go. However, I didn't add a title because I didn't even remember what year this was, because as you start taking photos as you're an adult, it seems like all the Christmas photos look pretty much the same because we put out the decorations pretty much in the same place, and once the dog isn't a puppy, I don't know what age she is here. If I was doing this with my current dog, I would have to journal that she loves grabbing Pluto every year and running around the house with it. So Pluto's tail has been a little chewed up since we've gotten our new dog. After I finished it, I thought it still looked a little bit bare, and I noticed on the sketch that there was some mixed media over by the fishtail banners, both in the upper section and the lower section, and it kind of looked like splatters, so it reminded me of this stencil that I have. So I got this out, as well as some Snowfall grit paste, which I haven't used too much. I thought that would look kind of like the splatters do in the sketch, but also with the snow would look good with the theme I have going. This grit paste is translucent. It's supposed to look like kind of crystallized on your windows, like snow or frost. So I don't know how much it'll show up in the final photographs. I'll post those so you can see that, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it in a photo. But it will add some sparkle and a little bit more interest. I don't remember using this the last time, so it's obviously been quite a while, and apparently it was when I ran out of that press and seal, so I didn't have any of that on it, and this isn't dried out at all. So apparently the grit paste doesn't dry out as quickly as a lot of the mousse and other pastes do, because a lot of those I've ended up throwing away before I ever go through all of it. As I mentioned earlier, this is part of a YouTube hop called Paw Your Way Into Our Hearts. There will be a playlist, and actually it's one that you can click on and has all the videos from the past as well as the current ones, so you can catch up on any that you've missed in the past, and you'll get some inspiration for doing your scrapbook layouts, because a lot of these ideas I did today you could do with Disney photos, you could do it with pets, Christmas, or anything else. You just change out the paper and the embellishments. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.